But first, in the last 24 hours, 3 police officers died in the line of duty. In one of those shootings, a man lured them into an ambush. That's in Bristol, Connecticut, where the suspect made a phony 911 call, waited on 3 officers to arrive, then opened fire on them with an AR-15. Here is the police chief this morning.
Words cannot express the sadness and grief that brings me before you this morning. Sadly, we lost 2 exceptional Bristol police officers, and a third was seriously injured as a result of senseless violence.
Senseless, but also planned violence. These attacks on police are part of a larger problem. It's open season on police. Just this week, 4 officers died, 8 were hurt in 7 different shootings in every corner of this country. Of course, left-leaning networks will tell you it's because there are too many guns in this country. They'll make it political. Conservative outlets will say this is all happening because woke prosecutors are letting violent criminals back on the streets, and they will make it political. There is plenty of time for that. We'll get into the reasons behind the shootings, why people have so little respect for law enforcement these days. But before anything else, it is only fitting and proper we take a minute to tell you about the men and women killed protecting us. 30-year-old officer Maisha Stewart died in a shootout in Greenville, Mississippi. She grew up in the city. She went on to serve, went to school at nearby Delta State University, where she studied criminal justice and played basketball. She leaves behind a 3-year-old son. Sergeant Dustin DeMonte and 34-year-old officer Alex Hamzy died in the ambush in Connecticut. DeMonte served on the force for 10 years. He also worked as a school resource officer at 2 schools and was training the next wave of police recruits. He won Officer of the Year in 2019. He leaves behind 2 kids and his wife, who is expecting another child. Officer Hamzy was an 8-year veteran of the department. He grew up in Bristol and graduated from a local high school. He leaves behind a young wife. In Las Vegas, 49-year-old Trung Tai died in a shootout that stemmed from a domestic incident. He held various roles during his 23-year career as a police officer and leaves behind a daughter. In all of these cases, a family member got an awful knock on the door in the middle of the night. It's standard procedure. A few of the fallen officers' friends and a chaplain and some of the department leadership show up at the door. And at times like that, there are no right words. Sadly, it's happening more frequently across this country. Intentional killings of law enforcement officers reached a 20-year high last year from the FBI statistics. 73 officers died in felonious killings in the line of duty. That's the highest total the agency recorded since 1995. The number of officers killed in these attacks is far higher than in 2020 and 2019. And this year, we're on pace to see an even higher number, a new record number of killings. 63 have died already. It is only the middle of October. This is what the FBI Director, Christopher Wray, talked about this summer in an interview with 60 Minutes.
Violence against law enforcement in this country is one of the biggest phenomenons that I think doesn't get enough attention. Last year, officers were being killed at a rate of almost 1 every 5 days.
We actually don't have a clear answer to why it is happening. The first deputy commissioner of police in Philadelphia said this after a gunman shot 3 of his officers.
There are some long-stemming issues that go well beyond the police department, the DA, the criminal justice system. That's accountability that starts at home.
He may be on to something, but there is undoubtedly other issues at play here. The president of the Fallen Officer Foundation gave this explanation to Congress earlier.
But we cannot allow this irresponsible rhetoric that's being used to proliferate radical messages online to incite violence against police, because individuals are taking up arms and actually carrying out those attacks.
All right, Sergeant Trey Penny is with us, formerly with the Dallas Police Department, also Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood. Gentlemen, we appreciate you being here. Obviously, we wish it was under better circumstances. Sheriff, start with you. Is this a statistical anomaly, what's happened this week, or is this becoming more frequent and thus changing how you have to police?
No, I think the sergeant's words hit the nail right on the head. There is an attack on law enforcement, okay? They are demonstratizing us. They demean us, and they tell you, you hear elected officials tell you to fight and resist against law enforcement. And then when you look at the fact that who are the folks that are shooting at us? They are convicted felons armed to the teeth who know there's no consequences and want to take us on.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because that certainly is part of the problem. But Sergeant Penny, I'm thinking about this shooter in Connecticut, 35 years old, Nicholas Brucher, a rowdy, beer-guzzling divorced dad who was like a big teddy bear, 35 years old, white, don't see any felony convictions or anything else, who just liked guns and, as far as the New York Post can tell, owned them legally.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And this is where I think we have to wait until the investigation is concluded to get what they found on him found about him on social media. You're going to see where a lot of these people are being radicalized simply by messages that are inciting violence against police. So when you have an individual that may appear on the surface to be a big teddy bear, but they may be going through problems in their personal lives, and what they're going to do is they've already concluded that they're going to end their own lives, but they're going to go out with a bang. So what they do is they set up these situations where they're luring our officers into these attack boxes, and our officers are going in and they're being shot and killed. Last year we saw 35 such ambush-style attacks, and then this year we're on pace to surpass that. And I think we have to do more, especially from a policy standpoint, to make sure that we are protecting the interests of our law enforcement officers across the country, because simply we can't continue this way. We have less officers that are wanting to enter the profession because of the inability to protect these officers while they're doing their jobs. Yeah. And then I know it appears to be political that we have these situations. I'm sorry.
I just want to stop you for 1 second. Grady Judd, sheriff just across Florida in Polk County, one of his officers was shot but not killed yesterday. And this is what he had to say. Take a listen.
He shot my deputy in the chest. Did you hear what I said? He shot my deputy. The vest saved his life.
Sheriff Chitwood, I think about what you just said, what Grady Judd just said, and what the sergeant just said. The answer from a lot of folks, even people who like guns, is less guns being sold, especially to people who are perhaps a little bit off their rocker or have a violent past, which is something that a lot of people on the right don't like to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the answer. The answer is there is a climate in this country that is okay to take on the cops. You're not going to get prosecuted. And then let's look at January 6th. I know you want to get political here. I don't care what anybody says. There were cops beat and maimed with a support the police flag, with Blue Lives Matter flags. And we sweep it under the rug. You know, that's what the problem is. The cops are the whipping post for America's social issues, and we're expected to get shot and beat, and that's your job. That's not our job.
No, it's certainly not. Sergeant Penny, is it a correct assessment, as you've studied social media, that this is coming both from the right and the left? I'm thinking about the rhetoric on the right about going after the FBI and others.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, that was my warning message to Congress as a whole, because the bottom line is, as individuals get into their own echo chambers and they start screaming this stuff, they don't realize that it does have real world consequences. People are choosing to go out and attack police because they feel that they're going to be exonerated by the political powers that be.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.